Hello, my name is Mariana, and this is a reading today for Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius, as always and as usual, I'm doing a reading with my own deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So, I'm taking like a deep breath because your reading today, Sagittarius, feels like those great dilemmas or like a very hard to figure out mystery that can go both ways, right? So I know that that is very enigmatic so far, but that is exactly how I'm feeling your reading today, right? Very enigmatic. Like you are touching a mystery, right? And I don't want to say like physically, it's almost like this epiphany or this insight because it's coming through as either you are going to step into like a deep meditative mode where you're going to travel within your mind, right? It's like this being able to go places, especially like in the universe through your mind, right? Achieving like this um ability to reach dimensions, right? To reach mysterious, unknown places, but through your mind. But the thing about your reading today is that normally I would, start with the opening card and then go in the order that they came through. But actually, the way that I am inclined more to read it, it's like the other way around. But it doesn't deny or it doesn't diminish or it's not completely disconsidering this more traditional way of seeing it. It's just that the way that I'm feeling the energy is not like in a traditional way, right? It's like the opposite, coming from the end to the beginning. I know it doesn't make sense to you right now. I'm going to show you the cards in the way that they came, but also I'm going to show you like this other order that I'm seeing because I feel like in one way, Sagittarius, it feels like either you had touched this mystery in the past and now you're back into this crossroads, really, or you are in this crossroads and you are about to touch this mystery that comes with an important revelation, right? I am not seeing you like getting this revelation as of now, right? They're not here still in the cards. The cards are actually showing me this crossroads, right? It feels, that's the way I'm seeing it. It's like the crossroads symbolizes perhaps like this moment of pause or stagnation or contemplation before you make like a big decision, whether to go back to where you started or to move on, in the direction of this mystery, right? So I'm talking a lot about mystery because we're opening. Yes, this is the opening card. I'm going to show first the cards in the order that they came, and then I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, these two options. Because I feel like you are a little bit like torn between two sides, two visions, two options, two ways. So this is all a grand mystery for you, Sagittarius. And I feel like there is this desire to touch the moon, but not physically, as I said, right? With the Knight of Swords coming next. This came through as, like this intense meditation. It's like either you are reading about something about the moon, or you are interested in knowing more about the moon, or there is like a high speculation about what's on the other side of the moon, or what is the moon hiding, or it's almost like with your curious mind, I want to say, right? It's coming from this more reasoning, intellectual standpoint, right? It's like you want to have answers, you want to understand things, you want to have clarity, you are in search of the truth, right? This is what is motivating you. So you want to understand this big mystery, right? Perhaps it's like some unanswered question, like big question in your life, right? That touches some point of like you have to travel far, right, in order to reach that answer. But it feels like, so now it's where it gets like it can go in the way that I'm describing, or it can go the other way around, okay? So 7 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles. It is very encrypted, okay? It is very enigmatic. But the thing that you are trying to follow, trying to find, and remember, this could be the other way around, right? But I'm just going to tell one version and then we're going to go to the other version. So this version has your interest, has your curious mind guiding you to touch the mystery, right? And what you are leaving behind, it's like this secure grounds, but also like emotional security. These two cards with, you know, it's almost like the it's like something that perpetuates, right? It's like a cycle that never ends, either like a physical one or an emotional one, right? And when I saw these two cards like coming after this one, what I saw, you know, those cartoons where when there is somebody that is going to enter like this very old car and they turn it on, and you know, the motor is like an old one, and like at the back of the car you see those two what is it called, clouds of dust, right? It's like that you know, you see that the engine is like just turning on, so it's like that what is it called, yeah, it I don't know the name of that thing, right, that comes at the back of the car, but it's like it's almost like the gas that was stocked, but it's almost like there was like dust there in the way of the pipes of the engine motor or whatever. So this is what you are intending to leave behind, and I don't even know that this is something that you are consciously intending. What you are heading towards, it's just like, I want to resolve this mystery, and this is what is pulling on me, right? But it's almost like there was some sort of dust, right, in this car, in this motor, perhaps, you know, in your own internal pipes, right? Perhaps we are talking about like, you know, if you are entering like this ability to travel with your mind, it's like you have to have like a clear third eye, right? So perhaps in order for you to really trigger that and turn it on, it's like you cannot do that unless you clean this. So it's almost like there is this yeah, there is like this heating up the motor, right? So, and then it takes care of this dust. And this dust, right, that is coming through as like these two clouds coming at the back of the car, right? Once you turn on the car, is a symbol for this, the Devil card. So yes, it has a little bit of the traditional meaning of the devil, which is something that it's not necessarily like something straight away deceitful and obviously negative for you, right? This is more coming through as like eternal crossroads, right? It's almost like you are in this energy, you are always going to feel like you are torn apart between two paths. So these horns are coming through more so as, you know, two options. And this is really interesting because it's talking about these two cycles, right? It's almost like perhaps the dust that was accumulating and that was like turning your third eye motor into like a rusty condition, right? Where you couldn't really do this traveling with your mind, right? Or go into deep meditations. It's because you were stuck in this devilish energy, right? In this eternal crossroads, which is actually interesting because exactly how you are finishing today. But I want to say there is this work that you are doing with your mind that is incredibly compelling and strong, right? Because this is what is pulling on you. That is going to help you get rid of this sensation that you were always at a crossroads, right? That, and it's interesting because the Seven of Cups is about, you know, illusions and delusions and things that keep us in this confusion, right? It's like it's not exactly confusion, but it's more like I don't know what to choose, that kind of feeling, right? It's like there are so many options, but to be honest, for you, I feel like there are two significant options that were always like presented to you, right? It's like perhaps you thought that you only had these two options, and it's like this question, right? This eternal question. But what do I choose for myself? Which path is the right one for me, right? And it feels, the sensation that I'm having, especially with this one, it's almost like this Seven of Pentacles was always like rocks in your way, right? It's like perhaps the emotional confusion, the not knowing what to do, not knowing which one to choose, and then the obstacles, right? It's interesting how the Seven of Pentacles, which is usually a card of constructing something, right? And building on something, it's coming through as like, and it's not even like big rocks, it's almost like those tiny little rocks that are just on the path, right? On the gravel, that makes it like harder to continue on, right? And so the sensation that I'm having with this Devil card is that you are always stuck at the crossroads, right? Especially because of these two cards. So the Nine of Wands and the Five of Swords, this is to me symbolizing the crossroads. But it's like the last card of this part of your reading, Sagittarius. And this is why I'm talking about, like, it feels like no matter how much you're trying to reach the moon and travel far, it's like you're always back in this Devil. It's like the journey always takes you back to the crossroads, right? And it's exactly what I was seeing with this cycle that is continuously perpetuated. No matter how hard you try to go against it, right? It's almost like the Devil would always trick you into, and yes, the Nine of Wands is coming through as like the hard path, right? It's almost like for you, even though you were presented potentially with two ways, right? It's almost like no matter which one you chose, it would always be the hard one because it would always take you back to the same crossroads. I hope this makes sense, Sagittarius. So now, actually, let's go the other way around, right? Since now you have seen this part of the story that is going to always take you back to the crossroads. And so, as I said, it's like, because you are heading to the moon, right? This is your goal. It's like your desire is to reach or have some sort of mystical, magical, mysterious revelation from the moon, right? Or from the cosmos. It's almost like the moon, it's just the most viable piece or part of the cosmos that you can reach so far. So this is what you're striving for. So this is now the ultimate goal, right? So as I said, it's almost like you left first this mystery, but then you were taken back to this crossroads. And it feels like now let's do this again. Let's go for another round. I want to give this a try, right? I cannot believe that, you know, I'm always going to be stuck at this crossroads, because there is this unknown pulling me, right? So imagine now this, starting at the crossroads, yes, taking a path that is hard, but having the hope to see the path of flowers instead of the harshness of this path, right? And then being presented with a choice, right? Which is like this, right? It's almost like you leave this crossroads that is inside your head, right? That is this mental crossroads, and you decide to move, right? To move in this direction where you are being presented like this fork on the road, right? So now you have to choose. Do you choose the Seven of Cups, which is like this emotional multitude of options, or you choose like these small rocks that you will have to, it's almost like in practical manner, or like in practical life, there are going to be a few rocks that you will have to overcome, right? It's like this is what the devil is presenting when you decide to leave this crossroads. It's almost like, okay, now I know that I am here stuck in this crossroads, but the only thing that I can do to move on is like make a decision to start this journey, right? No matter how hard or how hopeful it is, it's like I am going to face this devil, right? I'm going to face this choice. And this is what you are being presented, right? It's almost like, do you go with your heart? Do you go with your body? Or is it possible to not have to choose? But I feel like well, so far in this point of your journey, I feel like you are presented like, yes, you can only choose between these two options. And this is where it gets to the point of, but I want to find the truth. So I wish I didn't have to make a choice. I wish I could just have this revelation where I am, right? And it's almost like, that's the thing, it's almost like there is this reluctance in you, Sagittarius, to go to any of the paths that the devil is presenting, right? Because what you want to touch is something beyond earth, right? Beyond the tricky paths, right, of the earth. So because it's like, it's almost like you're telling yourself, right? You are saying to yourself, if you want answers, they're not going to be found in any of these paths, right? So maybe that is why you keep on returning to the crossroads, because perhaps you know that you had to make this option to choose something, right? To keep on going, but perhaps the one that you are choosing, it's almost like, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to sit down at this crossroads, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to leave this crossroads, I'm going to touch the moon by traveling with your mind and not necessarily traveling physically, right? Because this is what you are being given, right? This is what you are seeing in front of you. So I have this path, right? I have one path that takes me to this, it's almost like this labyrinth, right? This emotional labyrinth, or this maze of emotions, or this, it's like this room made of emotional mirrors, right? It's like, so perhaps it could be one that takes you to a path of reliving emotions, relationships, connections, and one that will make you relive perhaps like obstacles that you had to face throughout your life. So it's almost like both of them, right? And maybe that's the reason why you are still stuck at this recurrent coming back to the crossroads, or maybe not leaving the crossroads, right? It's because both of the options are not compelling to you. They're just not attractive, right? Because you don't want to relive anything. It's almost like, You want to touch a mystery of something that you haven't experienced, you haven't seen, you haven't learned, you haven't read about it, you haven't thought about it, right? So yeah, it's almost like you are in this middle of your path, right? You are in this fork on the road. You are at this crossroad, Sagittarius, and to be honest, it really doesn't matter where you start, whether this started with you having an epiphany and then trying to, go against the devil and then fighting yourself back at it, or if you decided, like, you made this decision consciously, but then tried to go beyond it and wasn't that easy, right? It's almost like you have to, it's like perhaps we're talking about like the pineal gland that is rusty, that needs this cleansing, that needs this dusting off the pollution, meaning the things that you have already memory of, you have already experienced before, right? This is creating this dust that is, it's almost like this cycle that never ends, right? Whether you choose one thing or the other, it's almost like both paths presented by the devil, they're always going to lead you back to this crossroads. So if you touch the moon, right, it's almost like that is, I feel like, the hope that you're still holding, right? If you touch the moon, and it's like you exempt yourself from choosing the devil, right? The two options that he is presenting, it's like that's when you choose the moon, that's when you choose to go beyond this crossroads. So yeah, I guess you are, it's like you still don't have much information, right? It's like you're trying to work with what you have, and what you have is still not enough, so you're striving for bigger, better, more, right? What is far away from what you can perceive now. So I don't know, I just want to say keep on trying, because the moon is here and it is your opening card. So it's almost like you are just about to touch it, or it's like maybe for the second time or the second attempt or even the third, the fourth, or how many, right? It's almost like this is like this reoccurring thing. So if you've had epiphanies, I want to say that new epiphanies are about to come through. But it's like keep on going, and it's like with this conscious mind that you're not stuck at the crossroads, because it's almost like if you keep on feeding that, that's what is going to bring you back to the crossroads every time, Sagittarius. So I'm going to pull more cards for you, and I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, the link is down below, and I'll be very, very happy to see you there. But if not, that's okay. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.